Hi, welcome back to the Academic Society. Today I'm talking about tips from graduate students on what you should do before you start graduate school. So I actually had a student in my Facebook group for grad students who asked, she was starting grad school this fall, and she asked, what are some things I need to do to prepare over the summer for graduate school? So I'm going to share their responses in this video. So if you're interested, keep watching. Hi, I'm Toyin, the founder of the Academic Society. I got my PhD in math 3 years ago, and now I create these videos to help graduate students. And I also have a Facebook group for graduate students. It's like a supportive community for only graduate students. So if you're interested in joining, definitely you can click the link below or just type in the Academic Society for grad students in Facebook and you'll find the group. Okay, so in the Facebook group, a student posed a question. So again, this is a supportive group. You can ask whatever questions you want. So I'm going to read her question. It says, from Alexandria, any tips on things to do before starting grad school in the fall? I'll be traveling and spending time with my family, but any grad school prep tips are welcome. And the grad students in my group showed up and offered some amazing advice. And the thing that I loved most about the advice was that it's advice that I've given in the past. So as a teacher, you'll find if you ever teach classes, when you see students doing things and like actually implementing what you say, makes you feel so good and so heart happy. So I loved reading their responses because these are the exact tips that I would give. And of course I gave my tips as well. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing the tips that these graduate students gave for anyone who is preparing to start grad school in the fall. And these are tips for new grad students as well as grad students who have already gone through a semester or two or more. So hopefully these help you. And these are from graduate students. All right. Uma says, get organized before the semester starts because it's a bit hard to do when it starts. Spend as much time as you can with friends and family. You'll be jammed packed when school starts, but do make time for them during the semester because self-care is important. And she's so right. Once the semester gets rolling, you just can't stop that ball from going. It's like everything is just like hustle frazzle, frantic sometimes. And it's really good to start off strong and start off organized. And if you can organize yourself and kind of put together a schedule, like, you know, a temporary, like tentative schedule beforehand, that will help you so much once you get started. All right, so Jessica says, figure what time of day you're most productive. Ask for the required text for your fall classes to begin reading and know the leaders of your research in your content. That's so good. That's such a good tip. So I always speak about this. Find the time of day where you're most productive because there's so many people that say you need to do work in the morning. You need to do work in the evening. You need to do work at night. You should do work when you are most productive. For me, I'm productive in the morning, so I like to get my work done in the morning. But if your peak hours are at like, I don't know, 1 in the afternoon, I don't know anyone's peak hours at that time, but if your peak hour is 1 to 4, try to put your highest level work tasks that need to get done during your most optimal time. And then get to know the required texts and things you have to read. It would be so great to get a head start. So something I didn't know when I started grad school was that students actually read the textbooks before class. What? I never had to do that in undergrad, but I definitely realized that that was something people were doing in graduate school. So that may be helpful if you can get the syllabi ahead of time and figure out what you need to be reading and start reading those things. Cameron says, try to get as many of the syllabi in advance as possible. This may be tough since professors procrastinate like students. Yes, they do, but it would be helpful to get some readings out of the way. And so I was just mentioning that. Another tip for that is typically syllabi are uploaded for previous semesters. So if you know a certain professor teaches a class over and over again and you look at the past syllabi and all of the readings look about the same, you can start there. Or you can ask them. I wouldn't pester them too much on their time off, but yeah, try to get ahead as much as possible. All right, Holly says, establish a self-care routine and deep clean your house and have systems of organization in place. For example, can you have groceries delivered? Can you figure out a system for laying out your clothes for the week? It will get crazy. So true. So just like I was mentioning before, once the ball starts rolling of grad school, there's no stopping it. And so as much as you can like get off of your plate as possible, that's great. So try to get organized before. Clarissa says to research a program and read the handbook. Yeah, every graduate program has a handbook. You need to know without waiting for your advisor to tell you, because sometimes they're wrong or they forget to tell you things. You need to know what exactly are the requirements that I need to do before I become a PhD candidate, or before I start writing my thesis, or before I finish my master's program. Like what is actually required of me, because you could be asked to do more than what's actually required. And a lot of grad students are overworked, and sometimes it may be because it may not even be legal for them to be as overworked as they are. So make sure you read the handbook and know. Okay. Shaquia says, purchase dual monitors and set your office up. So especially if you're like a computer science person, or maybe you have a lot of writing to do, it's nice if you have like 2 screens. I don't use 2 screens, but I know a lot of graduate students use 2 screens, and that seems to be very helpful. So that's a tip. Anthony says, take the time to write out what academic goals you have in mind or the reason you applied. Sometimes when I'm discouraged, I go back to what I wrote and find the light. So true. I always talk about, why are you in grad school? What's your reason? What's motivating you? Because when things get low, it's going to be that reason that's motivating you that keeps you on track. All right, and keeps you motivated. All right, finally, I'll end with my piece of advice for Alexandria. I said that I'm loving everyone's advice, because I was. It's also helpful to figure out your main goals and priorities for the semester, so when things get overwhelming, you'll know what you should focus on. So a lot of times you'll have many things due around the same time, so many responsibilities that just get so overwhelming and you just like don't know where to start. Well, if you have goals ahead of time, you can start on the things that align with your goals. And so that is my final tip. So let us know in the comments if you have any other tips for graduate students starting graduate school in the fall or whenever, grad students who are coming back to grad school. What kind of tips do you wish that you had known before you started graduate school? Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, definitely subscribe to this channel. And if you know someone who's starting grad school or who is in grad school, share this video with them. I'm sure it will be helpful for them. All right, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.